data when we move from one component to other component and come back. Component should not lose the data. For that purpose, we are going to study. For that purpose, we are going to study the next point, that is called, right? Next point we are going to study, that is called a Redux. So now everything is same. Everything is same. A small changes will happen, and then data will be keep storing. Data will keep storing, and it will not lose also if you go to some other component and come back. Okay. So now you come to the Redux part now. In Redux, what we have to do, the flow you have seen that day, we have created certain component. We have created called book reducer. Then we have created API reducer. We have created main reducer. We have created user reducer, right? And all the reducer we have sent to the main reducer. And after that, the combined of the main reducer, after combining everything on the main reducer, we have given to the store, and a store has given to the provider under the index.js file. That flow you have seen. But now problem you saw when you are filling the data here and going to other component and coming back, you will see you will lose the data. You will lose the data. So we have to do something where this should not lose our data. Component should not lose our data. Component should hold it. Component should hold it. Okay. Component should hold it. So for that, definitely we have to do something. So come to the code now. You have a component called book reducer. Not book reducer, user reducer we have. So for user component, we have to go with the user reducer. In user reducer, at this point, we have to modify something. We have to modify something. Let me guide you. Okay. So hold on. I'll do the changes of online. Redux 30 not. And 11 AM. Some 2-3 line was there. That line is required. Action I'll take and I'll add here. And one more line was there. That is called object dot assign something. This line is important here. Okay, so please add this one inside your user reducer. I've shared in the chat. And then object dot assign. This you add here. Modify. Both the points you can modify. Okay, hope ready. Now let's see. Inside this, we'll do some changes next. So these 2 points you have modified, state and action. After that, object dot assign and then the state. Now let us send the data from. Now we'll send the data from React to Redux. React to Redux. So in React, you have to call another hooks that will help you to send the data from React to Redux. You have to call another hooks that will send the data from React to Redux. So what is that? Import use dispatch from React Redux. Import use dispatch from React Redux. Import use dispatch from React Redux. Use dispatch for what purpose? To send the data. And again, use selector to receive the data. Use selector to receive the data. Use selector to receive the data. Use selector to fetch the data from a store and use dispatch to send the data to a store. Okay. We have two function, predefined function, one function called use dispatch, one function called use dispatch. Using that we can send the data to a store, and another one is called use selector. Using that we can bring the data from a store. Now let us see how we are going to send the data. So you come down here, this array you have created, this array will be required, but first understand how to send it. So to send the data to server, you have to create a object of this use dispatch. Use dispatch. Let dispatch equal to use dispatch simply. So this object created. Now you have a save function. Using save function, you are trying to push the data under the user list. So this line is not required now. Not required. You will create a variable called dispatch data, or maybe dispatch data equal to one property will be called type. Like we have to specify what we are going to dispatch. So type colon type colon add user, and full name of the user colon full name. Instead of full name, you can write here call name also. Name as a full name. So name will come from the full name, and type is nothing but add user. We are informing to reducer saying like you have to add a new user. So you will go here, and next you will call the dispatch function, and under the dispatch function you will dispatch the data. You will dispatch the data. So save till here. So we are creating an object and we are going to dispatch to a store. We are creating an object and dispatching to the store. Okay, hope ready. Now, so this in this file Xn is ready. Now, whatever the data you are going to send to the store, you have to fetch from there. Whichever the data we are sending to a store, that we have to fetch from there. For that, we have to modify this line. Let user list equal to use selector, and under the use selector a state will come, and inside the state only a dot state dot you have a function called user list. State dot user list. So this will give us the list of users. This will give us the list of users. This is to fetch the data to the store, to fetch data from Redux. This is to send the data to Redux. Data to Redux. Send the data to Redux and fetching the data from Redux. Hope written. Let me know once you write it. Now we have to go to the Redux. We have to go to the Redux. So here you will have no data as of now. Zero record will be there by default. Zero record. Once we enter the value and click on save, automatically list will come here. Then we'll come to know, okay, what is happening. Now see, remember here, use selector. Using use selector, we can bring the data from a store. We can bring the data from a store. Using use dispatch, we can send the data to a store. Using use dispatch, we can send the data to the store. Okay. Next, after that, After that, using use dispatch, we can send the data. Using use selector, we can bring the data. Now you have created an object here of use dispatch. After creating the object of use dispatch, we got the object called as a dispatch. Under the dispatch now, you are sending the property and value. Property is called type, value is add user. Property is called name and value will be name given by user. So those will be stored here under the dispatch data. And this dispatch data will go to the store. Now once it will go to the store, inside the store you have a reducer here. That reducer will hold the data under this action variable. From user component, whatever we are dispatching here, what you are dispatching, type and name. So this type and name will come and hold under this action variable. It will hold under the action variable. Now we have to write a condition if action dot type triple equal to add user action dot type triple equal to add user, then you will call this data array, and inside the data array dot push function you will use, and you will be pushing inside action dot name. What is that value? Action dot name is nothing but, see, we have written here type equal to add user and action dot name. So those both you are sending from here. Can you see type equal to add user and name equal to full name? So this type and name property we are capturing there. Type and name. In which file? The reducer file. Type and name. Type we are checking, is that add user? Then take their name. So write this if condition.
Sir, why data array before it was empty list which we had assigned? But what is the purpose that we added object dot assign that empty thing and comma state? What does that state indicates here?
Which line?
Fourth line.
Fourth line, this one is a state is a empty array. This one is a empty array. Okay, so this empty array is nothing but variable declared. Variable declaration is happening with the empty array. Another line, another variable called action. So whatever the input you are sending from there, from your user.js file using the dispatch. So whichever the action will be dispatched from there, it will capture under the second parameter. And this state variable is a not predefined, it is creating an empty array. Next, after that, what will happen is, at this place, object.assign, this line is representing like when the page has loaded first time, at that time, inside the store, there was a value called empty. Inside the store, what was the value of a state? Value of a state was empty, right? So empty was in the beginning, but when the user will add one element, after that it will not be the empty. Once first time page will load, that time this array will come as the empty, but when the second time user will, after entering a value, that time what will happen? Your state will not be empty. So the object.assign is checking like, is there any old value exist under the store? If any old value exists under the store, then capture that. Then you will ask inside the store where it will be. So under the store, it will be under the state itself. in this line, you can see here in user file, what I have written is, I have written call use selector I called, and then under the use selector, I am calling a variable called state variable. So state variable, you will ask what is this, where it's coming from. So this state variable is nothing but when you are sending the value to a store, inside a store again, how the value will store? Inside the store also the value will be maintained under the state itself. So under the reducer, what state you are using, right? State you are using, it will be a predefined variable where whenever you send the value, that will be stored inside. But again, question is when the page has loaded first time, what was the value of a state? So when the page has loaded first time, at that time the value of a state is empty. Empty array. Here, if you write call like this, then what will happen? Your state becomes a string. Inside a string, you cannot use the push method here. So that what happened in the beginning? In the beginning, the state was defined using what type of element? As an array element. And so that again becomes a fixed variable, predefined variable that is going to hold your data. Whatever the data you are sending from the your React to Redux, that is going to hold inside. Object dot assign represent, do have any old value already inside the state? If any old value exists under the state, then get that value. If there is no any value, then by default state will be empty. That is defined in the beginning itself.
Okay.
That meaning of that 3-4 lines. Next, again you are checking below. Action dot type is what? What is coming under the input? So when the dispatch will happen from the React, dispatch will happen. So dispatch data will be held under the action variable. Dispatch data will be held under capture under the action variable. So under the action variable, you will get two things. One is called type, another one is called name. So we checked here what is the type. Is that add user? Yes. Then what to do? Under the action only, there is one more property called name. Take the name and push inside the existing array. So what was this array in the beginning at initial level? So this array was at initial level as an empty array. So when it was empty array, then take one value and store inside. Take a value and store inside. And once it will come second time, then it will say under the object anything was already assigned, then give that value and then push inside. That's how it is happening. Now let me come to the browser. Here is the browser. We'll enter some value and save. You can see that value is listed also here. I'll enter some more value and save. That also came here. Now this value has gone to the store. This value gone to the store. It is not under this component. When I go to the book, when I go to API, when I go to the dashboard and come back to user, we can see the data is here itself. Before that, data was getting lost. But now when you go other component and come back, your data will be just, you should not refresh the page manually. Your data will be hold there only. Check now. After saving that, what value you saved, it's come under the list or not. And if it is coming under the list, then your flow wise, everything is okay. List should happen. First, to compare this user reducer.js file, I will send you code. If one dot will be mismatched, it will not work. Okay. I share the code of user reducer. Please take the code of the user reducer. Next, after this, I will send the code of user.js file. This is the modification we have done today. We have called the use dispatch that you can call in the beginning. Use dispatch. Next, the content of this function, a script part, everything is shared. So you can use that code also. Okay, now check once. Still is not coming or getting something. This data should appear here. I'll send you SRC folder, you can replace that. Then no other solution. Okay, SRC is sent in your chat. Now we'll go for the delete part. So we'll wait for 2-3 minutes. Please replace it quickly. Whoever had the error, they can replace it quickly. Okay, next we'll see the delete. In phone, code will not come. Okay, to get the code, you have to log in laptop using the Zoom. Now we need to see the delete part, how to delete. So first write a function const delete user equal to, you need to write here call index. index. Then after that, you will again write dispatch and dispatch data. Dispatch data will be type called delete user, and user index will be index. User index will be index. Okay, so add this, write this delete user. Now come down and call this delete user on click and pass the index. Button delete class name equal to btn btn icon, then there, then on click equal to delete user dot bind, delete user dot bind this comma index, this comma index. Just call the function. This comma index, delete user dot bind this comma index. Yeah, done. Now let's go to the next part, that is called, see, on button click alert will have, you will call the delete user, in that you are passing index. Now look up, index you assign to user index and you dispatch from here to where, reducer. So in reducer again we have to write condition if the type of request is delete user, the type of request is delete user. So go here, write another condition. If action dot type triple equal to delete user, then data array dot splice comma index, not index, what value you are sending from here, you are sending user index. So you have to write here action dot user index and comma 1, action dot user index comma 1, action dot user index comma 1, action dot user index comma 1. This will delete the record sequence. Okay, ready? We can check now. Delete is happening or not. So we'll refresh the page once. Refresh once, then add the user. Come in. Add the next user. Come in. Add the next user. Come in. Delete any user. If you go to other component and come back, your data will remain same. Data will not go anywhere. Data will be there only. Right? That is the feature of Redux. People use the Redux for this purpose only. When we fill the data and go to other component and come back, we should not lose the data. In fact, you are not storing this data in database. You are not storing in database. You are just giving to Redux. Redux is maintaining under the state. Redux is maintaining under the state. It is not storing in database or any other storage place. Deleting for how many people? Let me share the SRC folder. Again, SRC folder is coming to your chat. Next, we'll work on other component regarding this book data. How to store and how to hold for some time. How to store and hold it for some time. So we'll come back to the this file that is called your book.js file. In book.js file, again you need to import call React, you can call use state, you can call from React. Next you can call import use selector, use dispatch we can call, as well as use selector there also we can call. Use selector and use dispatch. Now after doing that, come inside they have to create a 3 variable name, price and quantity. So first create a state variable, let name, pick name, use state, empty. Next let price, pick price, use state, next let qty, pick qty, use state, now come down, write a const call save, alert it, alert the name. Now quickly call the functions pick name, pick price, pick qty for your text boxes. Down for the text boxes, we need to call the variable on change, pick name, similar way we need to call pick price, pick name, pick price, on change with QTY, then on click again. Call the function call save. Try this quickly. I'll share this p-tab in your chat also. Complete p-tab. Okay, done it. Now we'll test once. Is that alert coming? A, B, C. A is coming as the alert. Now this data we need to dispatch. So we'll go here. Again, we create a variable. To use the let keyword. Let dispatch dispatch data equal to one property will be called type or add book. Next will be called book info name. This will be as a colon. Okay, book name. Next one called price. Price will come from the price only. Next QTY will come from the QTY itself. Next, after that, we have to dispatch the action. Let dispatch equal to use dispatch. Dispatch. Now call the dispatch function. Right here, dispatch. Inside that, you pass the dispatch data. Pass the dispatch data. Next, again after that, we need to call here all book const or maybe let all book equal to use selector. From use selector, you will call the state, and inside the state you have state dot book list. So let's do this much first. save function and this dispatch one. So share you this code. Okay, added. Next, let's come to the next. We need to save this file and list the file also, list the data also. So this much is written. Then let me know accordingly. We'll move next. So we'll come to the two property we are sending, type and book info. So we can come to the book reducer, and in book reducer again you need to add this 2 point action and state. You can copy from previous file and add here action and state object dot assign line was there. That also required in the same number. Then we'll check below. Then we'll check below if action dot type equal to add book, then wait for some time. Then we can write here action dot type equal to add book. Then we can write here data array dot push function you have to use here. Push function you have to use, or splice also we can use. Concat function will not work here. Push action dot book info. Action dot book info. For delete purpose also you can write if action dot type equal to delete book, then data array dot splice action dot book index comma 1. This is for deleting purpose. So add this quickly, saving and deleting. Then we can complete that React part. Then this page also will be ready to save the data as well as list the data and delete the data. Okay, added. Then we'll come to the book.js file and we will save the data and we'll try to delete the data. We can create listing also here. Then we'll see data is getting stored or not. So this will work, there is no doubt. Add this and then come to the book.js file. Okay, ready? So I'll go to the book file. In book file now, we will try to print the book. Name, price, quantity. So come down, follow the T body. Under T body, you will use the map function. All book.map, book comma index. We'll write call return division, not division, return tr. For this tr again, you will follow the key property. Right, book.name index you will print here. Next book.name will come. Next book.price will come. Book.55 will come. And one more button is required for delete. Delete class name equal to btn hyphen render btn hyphen sn. This is like this. Okay, we can see once. List should happen now. A777 coming, B 777 888. If you go to user you can store book will be in the book page, user will be in the field page. I'll send you this T body data. Wait for some time, I'll call you. T body open, T body close. This all is shared in the chat. You can use also. Check once your list is happening or not, and check even data is coming or not. Anyone whose data is listing? We'll see the delete part also. Delete is happening or not. So we have to write a function called delete. List is happening. Write a quick function called delete. Const delete. So const delete book equal to index we can add here, and we can call again similar dispatch, and we can dispatch here type equal to delete book. After that, book index will be here. There you will pass simple as a index. You will pass as a index here. We need to call this function on click. We need to call this function on click. Pull the delete book. On click. Delete book, we can call here. Dot bind this comma index. It will delete the book from the store. So delete will also happen easily. Redux is our last topic. Redux is the last topic of your front-end part. Redux will be the last topic of the front-end part. Redux will be finished tomorrow. Redux will be end tomorrow. Redux is not big topic, it's a small only. So next after that project class will go on weekend. Project class will go next on weekend.
Sir, what you thought was function based, right? Is there any class based also required for React?
Not required now, it's gone from the market.
Okay.
Class component is nowhere used. Even React also remove from the library. Check now, delete is happening. I'll delete the B and see happening. If you go to other component and come back, your data will be here. Go to other component, come back it. That is a feature of Redux. The Redux will not lose the data if you go and come back. Lifestyle methods of Redux. I'll give you theory. You can have a look. Life cycle of Redux. You are already implementing no use state. Not use state, use effect. In class component, we have life cycle function. I have list. I'll give you. Can have a look. Wait here, 10 minutes.